Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby and I'm with Fitness is Medicine. Today I'm going to give you another workout you can do in your home. Very minimal equipment. All you're going to need is a set of dumbbells. Also you can use, I have a step here, but you can just use the bottom stair of a stairwell in your house. And I'm going to use a bench. So you can use a coffee table or your bed or a sturdy kitchen chair. So really the only exercise equipment you need is a set of dumbbells. We're going to do some rows and some biceps, so maybe a little bit heavier than you would if we were doing shoulders or overhead press, anything like that. So make sure you get a good warm-up in before you start. You can press pause, go do that, get 5 to 10 minutes in before we get started, and then come back ready to work. Okay, let's get going. So first we're going to do a one-arm row on a bench. You can do this on the side of a bed, you can do it on a coffee table, maybe put a pillow under your knee or something. So what I'm going to do is I want my knee and my hand of the same side on the bench. We're going to keep a nice flat back to protect your back during this row. What we're going to do is hold this in your hand, keeping a nice flat back, shoulders down away from your ears, drive your elbow towards the ceiling. So we're doing a one-arm row here. You want to go slowly both directions. Keep your back nice and flat. We don't want to rotate down and then rotate up here. We want to keep everything nice and flat. Nice and slow both directions, especially on the way down. We don't want to yank your shoulder joint or hurt anything with those fast motions here. So you're just driving your elbow straight towards the ceiling, keeping it in nice and close to your body. We're going to do 10 and then switch sides. So keep the same hand and knee of the same side of your body on the bench for a nice flat platform to protect that back. And then we'll switch and do the other side. If you're you can just turn around and switch if you don't have a bench at home. You can also do this with a couple kitchen chairs, or maybe on your deck, if you have a nice bench on your deck. 8, 9, and 10. Good. Okay, so I just leave that weight on the bench so I don't have to go moving it. And like I said, during transitions is the time when people are most likely to injure themselves. So be careful during those transitions, picking up those weights, things like that. If you don't have dumbbells at home, you can use, a water bottle, or like I always keep this gallon jug of water handy. It's really nice to use for weights for things. So anything will work as a weight if you don't have dumbbells in your home. Okay, next we're going to go up to this step that I talked about. So if you just have, the bottom step of your stairwell will work perfectly for this if you don't have a step. I just have a little step stool here from when my kids were little, and it works perfectly for this. So we're going to put one foot fully up on that step. I want your weight fully supported on that step, so don't have it back here. So you're going to have your knee bent like this. I'm leaning up over this knee, and this angle of my knee joint is not going to change. I'm going to bring my knee forward like this. I call these quad burners. So you can either alternate your hands like this, like you're walking or running, or you can just keep them all out in front and kind of pull them back each time you pull your knee forward. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's just what feels comfortable to you. So do about 10 on each side. If they feel pretty easy, do more. You can do 15 or 20. You're really going to feel that though. Your whole quad and your glutes are going to feel this one. That static kind of hold there as you move your other leg back and forth. Okay, so leaning our chest over this, we're keeping our chest and back nice and tall. We don't want to bend your shoulders forward like this. And then move that opposite knee back and forth. Like I said, you can move your arms like this, or you can start them forward and pull them back as you pull your knee forward. It doesn't matter. But I'm keeping pretty much the same angle on this knee. So we don't want to stand up each time. That is a good workout, but that's not what we're doing here. So this one is keeping that knee joint stable. Okay, quad burners. Next, we're going to lower to the ground for some fire hydrants. So this is a good hip exercise, a good hip stabilizer. Again, I want your hands directly beneath your shoulders, knees directly beneath your hips. And you're going to take one knee out to the side, just like fire hydrants, just like you would envision. Okay, the keys to this one, though, is to keep a nice flat back, head in line with your spine, just lifting it out to the side. If it doesn't go very far, that's okay. I'd rather have your back stay flat. Pretend you're holding a teacup on your back versus trying to open it up this big, because then you start getting some rotation in that spine, and that's not what we want here. Just a nice, slow, small range of motion, targeting those glutes. This is a really good one to do if you need any hip stabilization, if you have hip pain, even if you have knee pain. If you have difficulty kneeling on the floor like this, you can put a couple pillows. In my gym, I've got kind of some donuts you can put your knees on, but pillows work, or making sure you're on a nice soft carpet. You could even do these on your bed for a little less resistance, or a little less on those knees. All right, then switch sides. So you're going to lift the other leg to the side. Really trying hard to maintain that flat back. So you're going to get a little core involvement too to try to maintain that. So I'm not lifting up like this. 8, 9, and 10. Good. So you really want to go slowly with that one. If you feel like you need a little more, go ahead and do a few more. That's not going to hurt you. But make sure you're going slowly, maintaining that flat back, and just really targeting those glutes. Okay, next we're going to stand up and do some biceps curls. So you can use one of those same dumbbells that you were using. I just grabbed a different weight here to make it easy for the video. So I want you, if you're able to, stand on one foot. We're going to curl up and then slowly down. So we're going to work on a slow eccentric motion today. So if you can curl up in like 1, 2, and then curl down in 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Working on that eccentric motion, or the way down, is a really good way to strengthen those muscles. Now also, make sure when you come down, you let that weight go, pull your elbows all the way straight. Many times when people are doing biceps curls, they'll stop here and then curl back up. So they're releasing that tension, or keeping that tension to make it actually, you don't realize you're making it easier, but that's what's going on. So you want to work the muscle in the full range of motion. I just switched feet. So you can do all 10 on one side and then do the other foot the next time, or you can switch feet halfway through. It doesn't matter. If standing on one foot is way too much, try a tandem stance. 3, 4. If that's too much, stagger your feet just a little bit. One foot a little bit in front of the other, but then you've got the side-to-side movement as well. Let's do 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this will be a little harder than your normal biceps curls, so you may have to drop down a weight from what you normally do, and that's okay. I'd rather have you do that than put your back at risk. Sometimes if we're doing too much with biceps curls, people will kind of use their back. So if you're starting to do that and you feel it in your back by doing that slow eccentric move, drop down a weight. That's okay. It's a harder way to do those biceps, working those muscles in that eccentric motion, which is the kind of the relaxing motion. Okay, next we're going to go back to the bench and do mountain climbers. So I'm going to move my weight down here. So it starts like you're in a plank. So you want your shoulders over your wrists. You don't want to be way back here putting your shoulders at risk. Your shoulders over your wrists, And you're gonna drive one knee at a time towards your chest, towards your nose. Maintaining that nice flat plank. So I want your hips down, I don't want your hips up here. Hips down, nice and flat. Driving your knee towards your nose. I'm not setting my foot down when I bring it forward. I'm just bringing it right up towards the bench and then bringing it straight back down. So we're going to do about 10 on each side here. Okay, good. Then you can step forward so that you can stand up nice and tall without compromising that back. Okay, for the last one, we're going to lower down to the floor. And we're going to do a reverse crunch. So I don't do a lot of sit-ups. I don't prescribe a lot of sit-ups in my workout programs, in my exercise prescriptions. But we're going to do a reverse crunch. So sitting on the floor, many times I do this in a chair or on a ball or on the side of a bench or something, and that works great. But I want your knees bent with your heels just resting on the floor. And instead of lying down and pulling up, we're going to start here, lean back about halfway, and then come back up slowly. So, again, kind of working on that eccentric motion, a reverse crunch. So when you come back up, try not to come back all the way straight, because that releases the tension in those abdominal muscles. So we're going to lean back, and then come almost all the way up, and then back and forth. So if this feels really challenging to you, put your hands on your thighs and lean back, and you can even kind of pull up a little bit with your hands if you need to. Watch out for keeping your back nice and straight here. So we don't want to crunch back like this. Keep your shoulders back. Come back as a unit. Remember when you were on the floor and we flatten our back to the floor? Envision that. Envision flattening your back to the floor and then lowering down. So like I said, you can have your hands here if you need to for a little extra support. And you're still going to be working those abs. It's not cheating. It's just a way to give yourself a little extra support. If that feels okay, then try your hands here. If you need extra, if you're feeling like this isn't quite getting your abs like you'd like, you can put your hands up here, lean back, and then come back up. So either way, any way that you want to do this, hands here, here, or here, and then you can make that work for yourself. You should really be feeling it in here. If you're feeling it in your back a lot, send me a message and I'll give you another way to do it. But remember, you want to keep your back nice and flat, no slouching down towards the floor like this. We're going to keep a nice straight back and then come back up. Okay, press pause. Go do another set of 5 to 10 minutes of cardio. Come back and do these again. Try to get through these 2 to 3 times and really work on building those muscles, that balance, that core, and keep moving, everybody. Have a great weekend. Tubby came in to say hello at the very end. You say goodbye. Say goodbye, everybody. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.